We actually use Doc at every stage of the sales cycle. And I think it plays really well with how the Champify team thinks about sales and connecting with buyers and being on the same team with them. From the first call through the business case and negotiation, we think it's important to be as transparent as possible and provide the buyer as much information as possible. Of course, the cherry on top is when customers are like, wow, I'm impressed. This is super personalized. If you think about what we are as sellers, we're educators. We educate the prospect, we provide them the information so that they can make an educated decision for themselves. Asking the right questions can help guide their thinking, but what you're not doing is convincing. Sales is becoming more asynchronous. People are doing research before they come to you. And even when they're in an active conversation, not everyone's going to want to take time out of their day to have a basic intro call with you. It's really up to our prospects, how they like to buy, what their time constraints are like. We really want to play in with that by being transparent upfront about everything from pricing to what our product can do to what we can't do to customer success. If you arm them with that as early as possible in the conversation, it's only going to yield good things. We were using a combination of disparate email threads, which I believe is how most people do it, and Google Docs. Google Docs just aren't very visually appealing and they're kind of janky and you can't embed videos and it's hard to standardize. I'd probably spend like 5 times as much time putting together the content and then it wasn't as good. After seeing a demo and setting up our first doc, it was pretty clear like, hey, this is way better than what we're doing today. We have a leave behind template that we do after our intro call and demo, which essentially helps introduce people to Champify. They can browse through our doc within a few seconds and understand exactly what we do, how we compare to what's out there, a brief demo video, an FAQ section, which covers sales questions, ops questions. There's an overview of security, and then there's some customer examples. As the buyer asks questions throughout the deal cycle, we're updating the doc with our answers so that not only are we answering it via email, but when they go back, they have all the information that they need. There's a stat out there that says the majority of buying conversations happen with your champion internally with their own team. It's hard to get in touch with one person, but now you need to get in touch with and build consensus among a group of people. That's a big challenge. You build a champion by providing them the information that they need to go internally and get buy-in and get the team excited. Think about somebody internally goes, okay, what does this thing do? What about all these questions? And they're like, oh, I know we've talked about this before. Do I need to go click on a bunch of these call recordings and read through the emails to put something together? Oh no, I have one link with all of the information that I need. We've actually had customers that are doing a business case to their CFO, pull up the doc and just scroll through it. What's also great about that leave behind, we're not only sending it to the person we had the intro call with, but they are sharing it with their team out the gate. This is a great way to thread out. If we're like, hey, this person probably isn't the right person, and we're gonna thread out to a leader in an adjacent department that we know that needs to be involved, hey, here's what we've been working on, and here's kind of how we're thinking about things. Let me know if you think this is interesting. From leave behinds to threading out to once they decide, hey, this is something we're really going to evaluate, laying out exactly what that process is, what the action items are, what the steps are that are needed, from like signing an MNDA to doing a data test, things like that. Having that all consolidated in one place is great. Think about deal nurturing. A lot of conversations that you start, more often than not, timing won't be perfect. Having a consolidated leave behind that isn't just a big email list is a great way to keep somebody warm. We were in a conversation a couple months ago and we saw a few more people go back and look at the doc, at which we're like, okay, these people may have come to the website, but this is a lot more specific. And there was people we hadn't spoken with. So that means it must have resurfaced in conversations on their side. We're like, hey, this is a good time to re-engage. 100% it's had a positive impact because we templatize the different sections. It's really easy for us to drop in different use cases that pertain to certain customers. If I'm managing all of the content for each deal in all these separate places that are dated back to emails versus having a doc for each person, it makes it a lot easier for me to manage a lot more conversations as only being one person with only so much time. The interactions have been great and we've gotten more people verbally commending the docs we've put together than we expected.